Good morning, friends. Hello, everybody. How are you today? Today is Thursday, the 29th of September, and it is nearly a Rocktober. And yeah, Rocktober's full of fun and exciting things. So let me start by saying my name is Sita. I'm coming to you from Cape Town, from South Africa, not Cape Town, from Sedgefield in South Africa, and I will not be here for very much longer. I'll be here until mid-January when I head off to India, and I am so excited about that. I can't believe it is finally happening. So this is the Shawl Knitter Unplugged, my channel here. It's pretty new, and I document, share my passion for fibre, for knitting, for colour, for life, for travel, many things. Basically, I share my life with you here, and I would be very happy if you like what you see, if you would give me a subscribe and a like, and I'm always up for chatting. I do reply to all the comments. And in fact, October is heralding a competition. Oh, I'm not really sure. It's not actually a competition. Sorry, it's a giveaway. It's a giveaway. I'm doing some exciting things, and I've decided it warrants a giveaway from you guys. So I'll tell you the first thing that I'm going to tell you about is that I am going to be going live here on YouTube. I've never gone live before, so I hope it goes well. And I'm going to be joining Pia Trans from 50 Fabulous. She is doing her biannual, I don't know, she has already done it once this year, her 24-hour knit-a-thon. And I have said that I will join her live I'll go on 30 minutes live, and we'll have a chat about what we're knitting. I will be knitting something of hers, which I'll show you. I'm already knitting it. I hope I don't finish it. If I finish it before then, I'll have to start knitting something else of hers. But I'm going to be doing a giveaway on that day. And that is going to be, there's going to be two prizes. One is going to be a digital pattern, which is something that can be for anybody in the world can win that prize, because it's just emailing you a digital pattern. And the other will be 2 skeins of this yarn, which is very beautiful, from our local South African dyer, Big Fox. They do amazing colours, really saturated, and I'm a big fan of saturated colour. I am actually a dyer, but I do love using their yarn. And this is all in aid of this wonderful shawl that I discovered called Tiny Birds. I'm busy with it right now. I might well be much further with this by the 15th of October, but this is a stunning pattern. I've showed it before in a different colorway, also made from the Big Fox yarn, and it's this crisscross basket work triangle, which then leads into a lace section, which is going to be just with this plain grey, and I think that's going to be quite lovely. So that is the one exciting thing that is happening. So that is the Tiny Bird shawl. I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and you're going to need to give me a couple of answers and in the chats, and you could win one of those 2 prizes. And it'll be my pleasure to share my joy and the creativity of our local South African yarn dyers, Big Fox. Okay, So, thought today, just for something different, let's talk ranunculi. Something different, ha ha ha. But I'm sure you can see that I'm actually wearing one. And this is the fourth one that I have knitted. I wasn't actually going to knit another ranunculus, but I received this gorgeous drops alpaca and drops mohair that a friend brought me back from the UK, and I was going to knit the gel sweater. And actually I started knitting the gel sweater, but I'm really in between sizes, and the gel has two sizes: a small, extra small, medium, extra small, small, medium, and then a large, extra large, double XL. And I would like to knit a medium, but with positive E, so I sort of sat on the borderline there. So anyway, I did start it. I had to change needle size to get the gauge, and it was coming along, but I really didn't like the neckline. It was the sort of stand-up collar, and I know that, it's the kind of thing. And anyway, a friend of mine who knitted it said she has to fold the collar down because it gets in the way when she drinks her coffee, for example. And I realized, no, it's not the right thing for me. So I frogged it, and I said, why not? Let's just go for it. Let's go for the most modified ranunculus so far. So I'll first show you my other three, which you might have seen one or two of them already, and then I'll stand up and show you what I did with this one. So I would say that this is the first one that I knitted, and it's one of my favorites, really. I mean, they're all my favorites, actually. This is knitted exactly as the pattern, except that I don't know if they even had a little rib. They must have. It's a twisted rib. So this is very short sleeve and very cropped. It's as is as the first pattern was, and it's really soft. It's knitted with a lace weight merino and with African expressions like a neon lime green kid silk mohair. It's a lovely little garment. You can just put it on top of anything that you might be wearing, and it just has that extra little layer. So that was ranunculus number 1. Then came ranunculus number 2, which I wanted something with the long sleeve. I think the color might be blowing out quite a lot because this is a super loomy pink. This again is lace with a luminous pink mohair, and it's got a 3/4 sleeve with the little I-cord in a brighter pink mohair. At the time I knitted these, African Expressions Yarns brought out this whole range of neon mohairs, which really excited me, and I started adding them to everything known to humankind. So that is my second one. I also wear this one a lot, and I love them. I am a mohair fan through and through. I don't think I'm ever without something on my needles that has mohair in it. So that was the second one. Then the third one has absolutely no mohair, but this is kind of special to me. I do dabble a bit in drop spindling with the Turkish spindle. I have been actually very slack of late. I haven't spun for ages, but there was a time when I was spinning every single day. I would get up in the morning and spin for 30 minutes. It was my sort of morning meditation. And I then, in the beginning, my yarn was not really so even and thin, but it was definitely usable. So I plied it up and I dyed it. I think I natural dyed this with avocado and various other things. And this is quite a chunky, but lovely, very chunky ranunculus. It's quite even shorter than the others because this is really all the yarn that I had spun up. I did put a short sleeve on it, and it's also got mohair in the spin. I spun it with mohair fiber. You can see the little halo there. So it's, you know, it's kind of all tones, and it ended up in this, I think this bottom bit here was done with black beans, if I remember correctly. So this was my natural dye and hand spun ranunculus. And yeah, I love it. I love them all. They're all very different and very handy and very useful. And the one I'm wearing today, I decided to go the whole hog and make the sleeves super long as I like them. They've each got a different color. This is a brushed alpaca actually from Drops, which I used there. This was sort of my special yarn that I know to all you overseas knitters, Drops is not special, but in South Africa it's special. So I wanted to add all my specials together, and it was all alpaca based. So I knitted it regularly from the top down. I did change, I'm just checking on the pattern, yes. I added another band of this sort of, this is where you carry your floats on the outside. It's a very clever little pattern actually. I added another stripe of that, and then I had odd balls of yellow, gold, and red. So I'm going to just stand up and show you what I did. So I striped it. I used the rest of the yellow and red, and from the armpits down I striped it. But every time I changed color, it's also got the orange in between, I used that float carrying technique from here. I continued it just so that it wasn't plain stripes. It just added a bit more interest. And then I just ended it off with a normal 1x1 rib, and it's got a nice amount of positive ease, not too much, very comfortable, light as a feather. It just hardly weighs a thing, and I am loving it. I think this is my new favorite one, my new sweater for spring, because it is spring right now. So that's the ranunculi story, and I still think it's totally phenomenal that this sweater by Midori Hiroshi has taken the world by storm, and everybody's making it, and it looks gorgeous on everyone, in any yarn, and almost on any needle size. That to me is a sign of a fantastic designer. So that is the end of the ranunculus story. I wanted to show you, I have one more top, but I'm actually going to put it on because it's just so cute. It's something that just sort of happened because I was in the mohair mood, and I've been looking at this pattern for quite a while, and I had to have it. So I'm going to pause and put it on. So here I am. I'm a bit headless right now, but I would like you to see the sweater. So this is the Manus by Ymagara. And I have seen this, I think, on Amy Palco's podcast, and I've seen a couple of other people that have knitted it, and I just think it's so beautiful. You know, with these little chevrons and the mohair, and then it slowly creeps into this very diaphanous mohair body. Excuse me, I have to have a glass of water. So I had a bit of this lovely yarn. This is a beautiful merino and linen blend. This particular one is from Estheresa Yarn Creations, and I had sort of, I don't know, about 70 grams of it left, so I thought, let me try. And anyway, I did decide that I would knit the smallest size because it looked very baggy, and I thought, I'm sure I'm going to knit more than one, so I'll start with the small one. So this is the smallest size, and it's really great. I do love it. It's quite hugging, but it's nice. I can wear it with my long skirts, and I have tried it over a dress, and it looks really gorgeous. So I made big mods on this, big modifications. This is actually a sleeveless garment. It's very hard to see where the sleeve stops. So it's actually sort of a straight, square, boxy top. So obviously the fit on me is not actually how the fit is on the model. So I am actually already busy making one size bigger. But I'm not the kind of person that wears sleeveless tops, especially not knitted ones. You know, it was quite tight under my, not tight, but it was very close, and I thought, no. Woke up the next morning, I always hang my things up against this big mirror, and I woke up, I saw it, I thought, no, I'm not going to leave it like that. So I picked up stitches around the sleeves, and I just basically knitted straight down. By this stage, it's quite interesting. You start with the 3.5 millimeter needles, and you work your way up to a 4.5, a 5.5, and a 6. So I took the 5.5s and I knitted down, and then I basically just repeated the border that is on the bottom of the tee. And I love it. I blocked it. As you can imagine, it weighs about, I don't know, I haven't even weighed it. I should weigh it. Definitely less than 100 grams. And it is perfect. Perfect little slip over. So that is the Manus by Ymagara. So, just a little bit chilly. This is my painting stripes by Stephen West. And yes, 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 we're all excited for the MKAL. I don't think there's anything more I can say that anybody else on YouTube hasn't said already, except that, yay, I can't wait for it. So I am heading out on this weekend to my knitting buddy, Lenka, in Robertson, where I had my knitting retreat with her a few months back. And we are going to get together, and we're going to start the MKAL together. In fact, I might be there for 2 weeks, so we'll have 2 weeks of indulging ourselves in the twists and turns and having a lot of fun. So I will be there, and we will be knitting, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with everybody. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of MKALs, and I'll also be there for Pia's knitathon. I will in the next episode pretty soon update you on the exact time that I'm going to be live and what you will have to do to join. I'll put the information on Instagram. My Instagram, by the way, is Tribal Bling. I'll put the information there as well, but the competition and the entries are going to be done on YouTube. So keep your eyes open for that. I'll be giving a few heads up, maybe a reel or two about that. So that's basically all I wanted to share today with you. No, I'm wrong. I wanted to share Pia's beautiful scrappy shawl that I'm knitting, which is turning into a beautiful, huge, lovely, lovely shawl. So this is the scrappy shawl from Pia. Can you just see that this is just my colors? I'm mad about it. Which is this long, elongated, arrow-shaped triangle where you decrease in the middle and you increase on the sides continuously. You use up all your scraps and you do 10 rows of garter of each color. You stripe yourself away, the stripes just fly by, and then you end up with a very large triangle, which you then start filling in with this gorgeous lace. So now I'm now knitting this way, backwards and forwards, picking up one stitch, and I'm going to go all the way to that tip. And then the top of this shawl is going to have this beautiful big piece of lace, which you probably can't even really see at all because it's got me behind it. Maybe if I wasn't behind it, you'd see better. It's quite interesting at the moment. Before it's blocked, this lace is like it's got all these little pokey sort of three-dimensional, look at that, three-dimensional bumpy horny things. It's actually quite endearing, but I know it's going to flatten out when we block it. So I'm nearly done. I'm nearly done. And I do just love it. I love the colors. It's just absolutely divine. So that you'll see soon, and I can see another one of those coming one of these days too. So now I wanted to speak to you about something that I'm thinking about. I have been testing out, let's say, different formats here. And the one is where I sit and I knit and I chat to you about my life, basically, which is happening to be about my life in India, because I do have some wonderful stories, great experiences, and very humorous stories and information that I glean, and that's just life in India. So I've been sharing that with you. Now I'm about to return to my past life, let's call it, back to 3 years ago when I was living in India and I was traveling and I was taking groups twice a year and working in the knitting industry there on a very small scale in the mountains, and busy with craft and teaching, and I had a really lovely, busy life there in India. So I'm hoping that this is going to be able to resume in some shape or form. It is going to resume. So I have a tour that I'm taking in February. So I have made the decision to start a Patreon account. Now, what is a Patreon account? I'm still really finding out the whole story about it, okay? But basically, Patreon is where you, if you wanted to join me on my trips, or if I had something to offer you, or you just simply loved listening to my chats, you would be willing to join my Patreon account and pledge to give a certain amount of money a month to make it possible for me to continue doing what I'm doing. Now, the certain amounts are small. $1, $2, $5, and I think $10 is probably the highest. Now, I don't know. I think it's best to do it in US dollars. It will go through the Patreon and the PayPal. I can't change it into South African rands, but it will automatically, it's like when you buy a pattern from PayPal in dollars, you get charged in rands. So I am going to start a Patreon. I am going to start offering live videos, not just of me sitting in the corner chatting to you, actual experiences like the one I described on the train, where you'll actually be on the train with me, sharing the experience, visiting different beautiful places, going to different craft centers, seeing how people do block printing, watching the weavers, cooking food together with my local families that I live with, recipes of how to make food by watching these videos. Plus, I will also be giving guidelines to anybody who wants to travel to India. I am going to offer services if you need some help on any level with, travel bookings, accommodation, where to go, what to eat, what not to eat, and things like that. So my India content is going to largely move away from the YouTube platform. I will continue with the knitting, and some of the knitting will also most definitely go onto the Patreon. From what I understand, Patreon has free content as well as paid content. So there will be free videos that I put on, sort of, I suppose, as tasters, but you will be able to see something. But the majority of what I'm going to offer you will be a paid for content, and it's a very small amount. And it would just be really helpful for me to make it possible for me to bring you the service. So my first goal is to actually update my phone or phone camera, okay, so that I do all my videos on my laptop, and that's just not going to work for that process. So I need a better phone camera, and that is my first goal, is to be able to purchase that and bring you all these wonderful things that I'm offering you. The top tier of the Patreon, which is it's $10 a month, I think, if I'm not mistaken, will also offer you a service of, if you decided to come on one of my tours with me, you would get substantial discounts. And if you just decided to come along to India on your own, I would be happy to meet up with you and, to meet you and have a little travel and direct you if you need a direction and just hang out. So that's what I've decided. It's been quite difficult for me to decide to ask for money for this kind of thing, but I'm going to give it a bash and see if it works. There will be more and more things I can offer. I will offer live Zoom chats with myself as well. Some of the content will come onto YouTube, but at a later time. So the patrons will get everything first, and then there will be snippets that will be passed onto the YouTube channel. The Shawl Knitter Unplugged is not going to disappear. I'm not going to stop knitting, definitely not. I'm going to be discovering incredible more fibers, yarns. In fact, there's a yarn dye that I just can't wait to meet in India. I think it's Sunray Creations is her name on Instagram, where she dyes up the most gorgeous silks. So there could be a chance of me offering some of these beautiful yarns as well. So right now it's sort of clarifying. It's rising to the surface, and I decided best that I just talk about it here. And I don't know if you'd like to give some comments in the comments. If you'd like to offer your ideas, what you think, would you be interested? Would you be prepared to, to join my Patreon? And maybe if you have a Patreon, what is your experience of it? I have not launched it yet. I am going to launch it in October. It might be on the same day as I do the live, in fact, and have the giveaway. I thought, why not? Let's just have one major bash, 3 in 1, get it over and done with. So those are the things on my mind at the moment. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. My life has been very, very, very interesting and varied. And the last 3 years has given me lots and lots of time to think about it and to decide to actually put it out there. Every time I tell stories to friends or people, everybody is always saying to me, oh, you should write a book, you should write a book. Well, my answer to that is that life is it's too busy. It's too full of experiences. I'm experiencing it. Don't make me sit down and write about it. But I can video it while I'm experiencing it. So I'm going to give it a bash. And I really hope you decide to come along on this journey back to India with me. It's going to be great, fun, exciting. We're going to go to the most amazing festivals and to the most beautiful places and to the Ganges River and to ancient palaces in Rajasthan and to the Sacred Spirit Music Festival, which is something to behold. That's about the most exciting thing I can share with you. So, yep, I'm excited and I would love to have you with me. So, please, if you are first seeing me here for the first time, do join me by subscribing and give me a like. And I will put below my Instagram, which is Tribal Bling. And I will also write down the name of all the knitting that has been gone on today, the sweaters and the shawls and the yarn dyers and the full shebang story. So thanks for listening to me. Have a fabulous week. Sending love out there and positivity. Take care.